Exactly what did you see?
Hello, welcome to Cynic Critique, where we get real with cult films. I'm your host Brian, and I'm here with my brother and co-host, my bro-host, Thomas.
Hello.
This week, there is a killer on the loose, and we're all suspect, as we continue our remake season of This Again, for our second week, this time discussing 1981's My Bloody Valentine and 2009's My Bloody Valentine 3D. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, 1981's My Bloody Valentine.
It's a bad time, this time of year.
How many times is he gonna tell this story?
Oh, let him tell it. I love fairy tales.
This ain't no fairy tale, little girl.
Directed by George Mihalka and written by Stephen A. Miller and John Baird. And it was on a budget of $2,300,000 Canadian dollars. I don't know what it was in US dollars. And it grossed $5,672,031. I believe US dollars though for worldwide.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, and it stars Paul Kilman as TJ, Laurie Hallier as Sarah, Neil Affleck as Axel. Never looked up if he was related to
I don't believe so.
the other Afflecks. Don Franks as Chief Newbie, Peter Cowper as the Miner, or Harry Warden, Alf Humphreys as Howard, Keith Knight as Hollis, Cynthia Dale as Patty. The synopsis. A decades-old folktale surrounding a deranged murderer killing those who celebrate Valentine's Day turns out to be true to legend when a group defies the killer's orders and people start turning up dead.
Yeah. Have you looked up the director and writers of this at all?
Yeah.
So Stephen A. Miller was only the concept story guy for this.
Right.
So I'm guessing he was like a pitch guy. I suspected a producer, and I was right. He was a producer on this and quite a few cult TV shows and writes the odd episodes on them.
Yeah.
Like Airwolf, for example, but I can't remember anymore now.
Diagnosis Murder.
Yes.
Magnum PI.
Whereas I think it's John Baird, how you
Yeah.
say his surname anyway. He's got pretty much all the vowels in there. I mean, he's got 3 other vowels in there.
Yeah.
He wrote Happy Birthday to Me, which was a slasher of the same year as this.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing it was a similar reason as to why this was made, where they're looking for another like holiday-themed slasher thing, like Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Black Christmas, isn't there?
Yeah.
But where's the Easter one? There must be an Easter one. Gonna have to look into this.
We'll find one for this Easter.
But it's called like the Chocolate Smasher or something like that, and he just breaks people's Easter eggs.
What a slasher movie.
It was
that
the
is.
first serial smasher movie we've had.
Very threatening.
Yeah. Did you see that this is Tarantino's all-time favourite slasher?
Yeah.
I find that quite hard to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight more of a Halloween.
No, I thought it'd be more like pick a random number of the Friday the 13th movies and it'll be that one.
But what are your actual thoughts on the movie?
I mean, it's a strange opening. It opens with smutting soot
Yeah.
because it just has that that weird nudity scene, doesn't it, in the mines?
Yeah, I was questioning if you'd put the right film on.
It's such a weird opener.
I thought you'd found some strange...
Yeah. So there's that opening, and it's like, I get it, you're a slasher, but why open with this? I just thought it was a weird opening.
Yeah.
And I also found it odd that the whole workforce seemed to act like teenagers.
Yeah, that was weird. Clearly, like, teen slasher meets just we work in mines.
I guess meets a workplace comedy.
Yeah, that was the other thing as well. It opened with the smutting soot, as you called it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was weird. Thought you'd put the wrong film on. And then it cuts to these, like, mine workers who act like teenagers, and it just felt like some really weird comedy.
They'll come out there out of work,
Yeah.
laughing, joking, and wheel spinning about the place.
Yeah, and again, I was thinking, is this the right film?
And then you get that grumpy old guy complaining about doing a Halloween party, don't you? It's like, is it time for this party? Kind of thing.
A
And
Halloween party?
Halloween, a Valentine's Day party.
I'm really confused because I was just thinking I missed a bit of the film where they decided they were talking about Halloween. Now we're thinking
In February,
no,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I wonder why he's complaining about a Halloween party.
No, but it's that, isn't it, where it actually sets the date, because it's a Saturday the 14th of February.
Yeah.
So it means it's just had a Friday the 13th,
Yeah.
which is part of the reason this film exists at all.
Yeah.
But no, I think my favourite character is Chief Newbie.
Yeah, I guess.
I find his name really oxymoronic. He's clearly got the experience of a chief, but his surname implies he's is a newbie. It's like, is this his first day on the job? Does it actually confirm his name is Newbie?
Yeah.
Or is it just like a weird nickname because he's like a rookie, like a really rookie chief?
Newbie like more of a later name anyway.
What do you mean?
I don't think they had newbies back then.
I don't know.
Newbie
It wouldn't
was more
surprise
of
me.
a 90s.
You sure?
I believe so. Or maybe I've fallen into that false things you read on the internet where newbie came from Noob Saibot of Mortal Kombat.
Slang term for a novice or newcomer.
I don't know when it actually started.
I'm going to try and find out. The earliest known use of the noun newbie is in the 1970s.
No. Maybe they just really like the name.
To me, it just seems like a funny name to give your cop, Chief Newbie.
Maybe it was a nickname that stuck.
Yeah.
So then it just became Chief Newbie.
Do you have the practical effects guy on this, actually?
For this one, no, I don't. I don't even have it for the other one. I'm one of them people that go on about how they should really respect the practical effects people, and then I don't even find who they were. And then you seem to ask me like I should have them.
I thought you might have.
And
You seem to spend a lot of time writing notes for these.
I didn't really spend much time on this at all.
Oh, wow. I got the guy for the remake, you see.
Yeah.
Oh, I did get this guy.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I particularly like some of the special effects work in this. Because there's the bit where the pickaxe comes through and takes the eye.
Yeah.
That's probably my favourite one. The effects artist is Thomas R. Berman, who's quite prolific.
Yeah.
But apparently he had a prop on this that made the director vomit,
Yeah.
which I thought was quite funny. Because you'd think the director knows what he's in for. But he worked on the 78 Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Scrooged, one of the adaptations of A Christmas Carol. But he's also famous for doing Nip Tuck and Grey's Anatomy, and did a couple of episodes of X-Files, but I forgot to get which episodes they were.
Nice. But they were good ones.
But he worked on the infamous film Howard the Duck.
We don't talk about that.
Okay. But then he worked on a really cool early 2000s film, I think 2004, Suspect Zero.
Oh, right.
It's a very underrated and forgotten about film and worth checking out, I would say, for fans of the crime and serial killer genre. It's got Aaron Eckhart and Ben Kingsley and somebody else in it that I can't think now off the top of my
Terry
head.
Moss, I think.
Yes, but it's well worth checking out for crime fans. And I guess knowing who the special effects guy is, you know kind of what you're in for with some of the crime scenes, I would say. But no, I found this film to be so, I don't know. I think it got better as it went on.
Yeah.
It felt like it took a while for anything to happen.
Well, after them weird opening scenes where you question what you are in for.
Yeah. But TJ has a really cool car in this, though, the lead guy.
Yeah.
The colour sucks. It's like a tealy aqua sort of colour. But the car's cool. I thought I had the car written down and I don't.
I thought you said you had. You named it earlier.
It's one of the ones that people thought had influenced the Batman's Batmobile.
Yeah. Should tally up how often you mention that film.
What, just on our podcast or in daily life?
I'm not doing it in daily life. I ain't got that time.
It's a Camaro.
Yeah.
It's a Camaro.
Alright.
There we go. So obviously it's cool. I don't think I've seen a bad Camaro.
No.
Bumblebee's a Camaro, isn't he, in the new Transformers films? Or the not new Transformers films, but
The Michael Bay
Yeah.
Transformers films. Quite a long time ago now.
yeah, nearly 20 years, isn't it? 17 years ago.
Yeah, I think so.
How long's it be? 17
The first
years?
one was 2007.
18 years ago. I thought it was 08.
No, I think it was 07.
Got real life cannibal Shia LaBeouf in it.
Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
But this film has not.
Sadly. Would have improved if it had.
Maybe.
But I'm still baffled that this is Tarantino's favourite of the slasher genre.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I don't think it particularly holds up. The kills do. The car does. But I think...
Kills are pretty good, to be fair.
Yeah, the kills make it.
Yeah.
That, and I kind of wish it was a 90s film.
Yeah?
Yeah, so we could have Nirvana's Heart-Shaped Box playing.
Aye.
After watching this, I think that Heart-Shaped Box was written about this film.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright.
Another strength of this film, though, I think, is from filming in real mines.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it really adds to the look of the film.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a set.
Yeah.
You know, people are actually having to stoop in certain areas, and I think if it was a set, they'd have built it so all the actors could stand upright
you'd
for
probably
all the
question
time.
why everyone's...
Yeah. And I quite like that, the authenticity. And to be honest, there's quite an authenticity vibe to the town itself where they're filming, because they actually filmed in the town, didn't they? They went and stayed there a few days, if I'm right, before filming began.
I don't know if that helped them or not.
I don't.
To me, it's just like, they got a bit of a free holiday to a weird little town.
Yeah, but I like the fact they shot in a real mine. The real mine was the Sydney mines in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, which is in Canada.
Yeah.
According to an interview on terrortrap.com with the director, he said they chose the mines due to its rustic atmospheric appearance. But apparently when the locals found out... they spent apparently, I don't know where he got the figure from, but I'm assuming he maybe asked at the time. They apparently spent $50,000 to have the mines cleaned and painted.
Yeah. It's the painted part that gets me.
Well, I guess it's like town pride. It's like, oh, they want to film here. We need to look good to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Let's show them how clean and fresh our mine is.
Yeah.
So it meant the director, Mahelka, I think it's pronounced, I'm not sure, had to spend $75,000 of the film's budget to return it to its original appearance.
Yeah.
Which, what did you say the budget was?
Just over $2 million. real.
Also, it's not that much of the film's budget then, I guess.
No.
But it's clearly money they could have spent elsewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe on more death scenes.
They cut 2 of them.
That's what I was getting at.
And they've not been in any extended versions because some things were restored to them, but for some reason their 2 character deaths have not.
Were they ever filmed though?
Apparently,
do you know?
no.
Right, okay. I also quite like the fact they apparently kept the killer's identity secret.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to reveal it because it is a good who's done it, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't think the who's done it is a big angle of the film.
No,
they don't particularly play it like there's a mystery there. Whereas Scream, I think, leans too much into the whodunit that it's no longer a slasher horror. It is just a whodunit with a man in a mask for me.
Yeah.
And I always prefer it from the crime angle than the slasher angle for Scream.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they try particularly hard at the kills in the Scream franchise either. You don't get any great gory kills in Scream, do you? Where you go like, oh, that was great.
No, not really.
But yeah, I quite like that. But apparently the actor that played the killer, I'm not going to reveal who it was, worked it out because they had to make a prosthetic. I'm not even going to say a prosthetic of what, but apparently they helped figure it out. But I find that quite hard to believe as well, a little, that he figured it out from that.
Yeah.
Because that actor also says he's got the miner's helmet that he wore from being the killer.
Yeah, but because at the end he takes it off. So he'd have had to have worn it.
Oh, so it was somebody else as the miner, you think, as the killer in this then?
Yeah, because Peter Cowper is credited as the miner, so I think it's him for most of it.
Right, okay. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, I'd not thought about that. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I know. I want to know what Mihalka pitched as the sequel in 2001.
I'm guessing it's
20 years later.
Yeah, because isn't it 20 years in this since they celebrated Valentine's Day? So I'm guessing it was like a repeat thing, which is what most slashers do anyway, isn't it?
But apparently this didn't do well enough for him to consider it, even though it earned back double its budget.
Yeah, and also it's new times, you know.
Double its budget isn't bad, but they were expecting more Friday the 13th numbers, and it didn't get that.
But yeah, I don't think the numbers were that bad. And again, 20 years have passed.
Yeah.
Slashers were back in again, because it's around 2001, isn't it, with Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah, you'd have had Scream make them big again as well.
To be honest, I think if he had done a sequel in 2001, it would have probably done better than the remake.
Probably.
I do think this one does have a good array of characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't pick up all the names, but there's like the Joker guy in there, Howard, played by Humphreys.
Yeah.
I quite liked his character. He was like class clown, I guess.
Yeah.
I say class clown because they felt more like high schoolers.
They were. I felt like they were all on work experience.
It doesn't help, though, that they're the same age as the sort of actors that they get into play teenagers in the other slashers around this period as well.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to respect about this film, I think, in terms of filmmaking.
Yeah.
I do think the pacing's a little off.
Yeah.
But when you compare it to other films from that period, the slashers and so on, I guess it fits. But I quite like my slashers where you're getting kills pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Not many of these characters are particularly like I like the characters. Some of them are just characters that you kind of want to see die.
Except Chief Newby, your favourite.
Oh, Chief, yeah. He's the star of this for me. Him and TJ, because he has that, you know, he's got the cool kind of... I think he even got the cool jacket at one point as well.
I don't remember a jacket in this one.
It was TJ, wasn't it? I said, oh, it feels like he could have played a young Clark Kent, because he's got the black moppy hair and the plaid shirts.
Yeah, why?
I'm just saying. I quite like that.
Okay.
That was funny.
Alright. This film had an actual song done for the end credits.
Oh, God, yes.
But I didn't know who...
Didn't open with the song, actually.
It's in the end credits, I know that, but I don't remember it opening
It opens with a song.
The music was by Paul Zazer, but he worked with someone to do the end credits song as well. John McDermott. They do the song for the end credits anyway.
Yeah.
But Paul Zazer, he also does music on another slasher franchise.
Oh, right, okay.
He does all 4 Prom Night movies. I believe there's only 4.
And there's a remake.
Yeah.
And I think the remake might have a sequel now, I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I don't think I've seen... I might have seen the first Prom Night, not sure.
Yeah, quite surprised this film had a song in the end credits.
I quite like that it did.
Yeah. It was supposed to have a different sort of song, but I can't remember.
They wanted more of like a rock and roll sort of thing, I think. But they end up with more of a folk song, don't they?
Yeah, about the secret. It's known as in the song, which is the original working title for this film.
Oh, yeah. They reference it, don't they?
Yeah.
It's a good song, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's one of them I could listen to just because I want to listen to it.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
But you can't listen to it on anything like Spotify because
I haven't checked
yet. Isn't released for whatever reason.
Was there even any other songs in the film?
Yeah, can't remember her name now. She had a couple or so songs in it and she released them herself.
Oh, right, okay.
For some reason they haven't released the soundtrack for this film.
Oh, but it's on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. That's where a lot of people have listened to it. Then the guy who did cinematography on this is Rodney Gibbons.
Okay.
He did Scanners 2 and the Amityville Curse, and then he did something that I actually think is much better than this anyway, which is Screamers.
Oh, I love Screamers.
Yeah.
Screamers is a great sci-fi film for those that don't know.
Yeah.
Based on a Philip K. Dick story.
Yeah.
And it stars RoboCop.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Peter Weller.
Yeah, I'll let you say it, 'cause I knew if I was doing it, I'd probably say Paul Weller,
Yeah, I know.
the lead singer of The Germ. I never get the right name. But no, that is a great song, to be honest, at the end of this film.
Yeah. Oh, Marie Buttrell, she released songs on an album called The Star.
Okay, well that's a shame, because I don't remember any other songs being in the film.
They're at the party in Darwin setting up that, I think. I'm not sure myself.
But they were written originally for the film as well, then?
They're in
Because
the film.
if that's the case, surely it'd be best going like, let's make sure we get an original song like what we want before we focus on any other music.
Yeah, I don't know.
Get away with just playing music without
don't-
words for the party scenes and
I don't
stuff
know
for our
if they're
Riddlers.
actually written for the film, but they're just like found
Yeah.
on the label and then they're kind of attached to the
Right.
film and not really able to.
That could be why she was able to release them herself as well.
Yeah, I don't really know.
There are some great deaths in this, though.
Yeah,
Can I spoil my favourite one?
if you want.
Because out the two films, it's probably my favourite death.
Yeah.
It's where the guy gets choked, well, drowned, I guess, with the boiling hot dogs
Yeah.
in the pan.
That's your favourite.
Yeah, because I quite like the shot of where you get it from in the pan with the hot dogs floating and his head in there. It's just kind of funny.
All right.
I just wanted to share my favourite kill out of the two films.
Right.
Why? What would yours be? If yours is in the second one, save it.
I don't know. I don't really think about it.
Is it?
Kill's a kill, bro.
No, it's not.
I'm happy to see them.
Yeah, but some are like really cool and creative, like drowning somebody in hot dogs. I'll be honest, it was the camera angle from the pan that really made that.
Yeah.
When you see the hot dogs floating around in there and the guy struggling to breathe.
So you want pan cam more often?
Yeah, pan cam, I guess. I also wouldn't mind a Chief Newbie spin-off from this.
Yeah.
Just him solving really mundane cases in this small town.
You say that, but I think you'd have watched it and gone, oh my god, this is just horrible TV.
No, because the cases are that mundane, it becomes kind of laughable. Like he's trying to find who parked a car at a meter and won't pay their ticket.
I don't know. Doesn't sound very appealing, but
That's the idea. People watch it out of irony and then just fall in love with the charm of Don Franks.
I don't think enough people would.
No,
No.
that's a shame. I think if it was made, it'd be more spoken of than Columbo.
No.
Yeah.
Columbo's great.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. That's great. A Chief Newbie spin-off would be better.
No.
I'm telling you.
No.
I also don't think we've had a better cop in a slasher film than Chief Newbie. Dewey comes close, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, Chief Newbie just has this little charm about him as he goes around this town.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also doesn't seem to care for a while, I think, as well. You have anything else to say about this one?
No, I'm alright.
You're alright?
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you have what to say about it?
No, I'm alright.
Okay, moving swiftly on. So now we're on to My Bloody Valentine 3D from 2009.
Come here, you better check this out.
What is it?
On a budget of 15 million and grossing $100,734,718. Directed by Patrick Lucier, written by Todd Farmer and Zane Smith, based on the original, I guess, by Stephen A. Miller and John Baird. The synopsis, as IMDb has it, Tom returns to his hometown on the 10th anniversary of the Valentine's Night massacre that claimed the lives of 22 people. Instead of a homecoming, Tom finds himself suspected of committing the murders, and it seems like his whole flame is the only one that believes he's innocent. Starring Jensen Ackles as Tom Hanniger, Jamie King as Sarah Palmer, Kerr Smith as Axel Palmer, Eddie Gathegi as Deputy Martin, Tom Atkin as Burke, Kevin Tighe as Ben Foley, Megan Boone as Megan. You want to start?
I think it's a pretty solid remake. I think there's some issues with it.
Yeah.
I think that's mainly when you get to near end, which I don't want to spoil, but
No.
I don't know. I think it should have gone in a different direction towards the end. I remember quite liking it more on an original viewing.
Yeah, same, because I saw this in cinemas at the time,
Yeah.
and I quite liked it a lot at the time, but I think this is one of my first slashers in the cinema.
Yeah.
Maybe my first true slasher in the cinema
Yeah.
that I can think of, and I quite enjoyed it.
You'll watch Friday the 13th same year, won't you?
I did watch that, yeah, so I guess it was whichever was released first.
And I believe Triangle was that year as well. wasn't
Oh, yeah.
it? Year of slashers for you, I think.
Yeah, I guess it was. But I quite like how, same as the original, they used a real mind to film this.
Yeah, although while watching it, I think you said I don't think they used a real mind for this.
Yeah, because I think it's more with how it's shot,
Yeah.
more than anything. The lighting kind of adds an element of studio, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's just something about the lighting that felt a little too unnatural for how the mine should be lit, that I thought this has to be a set.
I think maybe health and safety is a bit better by that point.
Yeah,
And
maybe.
I think they had taller mines. They don't
Yeah.
have to stoop and all that sort of thing.
But you mentioned Friday the 13th being out this year as a remake,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
this was, which starred Jared Padalecki, and obviously Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki are from the show Supernatural,
Yeah.
and they both starred in a cult horror slasher remake that year,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I prefer Friday the 13th to this by a lot, to be honest, but I have a lot of love for that film.
Yeah, at the time, I actually think you preferred this on your first viewing of them. I think you said this was the better one.
I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I remember.
It's a long time.
I remember. But speaking of Friday, Todd Farmer, one of the writers on this, he did write Jason X.
Yeah, he doesn't just write Jason X.
No.
He writes Drive Angry,
Yeah.
The Messengers, which is a pretty good horror film. It got a sequel that he wrote. And he wrote a horror film that we quite liked with, was it Omar Epps?
I think
From
so.
2019 called Trick,
Yeah.
set at Halloween.
Yeah, well, Trick and Drive Angry are...
Same director.
Yeah.
Yeah. The director also he was the writer for Terminator Genesis.
Yeah.
And he directed a couple episodes of the Scream TV series.
Right.
And the Purge TV series. In fact, I think he might have only directed the pilot for the Purge TV series.
Yeah.
Both those shows are worth checking out, to be honest, if you like the original films, because Scream's more of its own thing, whereas the Purge, it doesn't matter if it's its own thing or not, but it's more hour by hour of a Purge night, isn't it? Which was really good.
Yeah.
It really allowed the drama, I think, to play out properly in the TV series of the Purge being hour by hour.
Yeah.
And I mentioned Supernatural as well, and they have an episode called My Bloody Valentine, don't they?
Yeah, in season 5.
Oh, so it's a year or two after this,
Yeah,
then, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the following year.
This was shot in a real mine, and it's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Because they were taking advantage of the state's tax incentives for filmmaking there.
Of course they were.
The writer also, Todd Farmer, appears in this as Frank the trucker.
Yeah.
I think he's just the woman having sex that he walks by. I think he's the guy just having sex with the woman in the motel bit.
Yeah.
And he also plays Frank in Drive Angry.
Yeah.
That's his character name.
Yeah.
And the town that they're filming in, the bridge, did you see where that was from?
No.
There's a bridge in the town, isn't there?
Yeah.
Because they're walking across it at one point.
Yeah.
That's the bridge from the Mothman prophecy.
Ah, yeah.
And apparently the villain tilts his head in this after killing, which is apparently reference to Michael Myers from the Halloween franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't pick up on that.
There's another reference to Michael Myers, and I guess Jason as well.
Is it the blue overall? Oh, no, I don't think Jason wears blue overalls, does he? Go on then.
It's the first two characters killed in this are Michael and Jason.
Ah, right, okay. Great stuff.
Yeah.
The only thing I got from the Halloween franchise is I think Tom Atkins is the lead character in Halloween 3.
Yeah, I believe so.
So not even the slashery one, is it?
No. He gets to say a line in this that he repeats in Drive Angry as well.
Yeah.
Everybody stand down, god damn it.
All right. Great stuff. How original.
Plays a similar character or something, so what do you expect?
This is something I find quite funny as well, because Australia, you think, would be quite liberal with what they put in the films, with the Australian films that you can watch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know where I'm going?
Think so.
It was in the most complained titles of the year.
Yeah.
The top 5, apparently.
Yeah.
With a dozen complaints.
Yeah.
So it only took 12 complaints to make it to top 5.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
No.
Apparently most complaints were about the film's gory violence, which I found weird.
Yeah, I don't think it's too bad.
And in America, it apparently had the R18+, because it says, although the film carried the highest rating available to a non-pornographic film, R18+.
Wow.
Many people wrote in wanted the film completely banned. And I find that odd in Australia. I actually like this film, but I would bet that those complaints came from people that watched the film and just didn't like it. I think if they were liking the film, they wouldn't have the same complaints.
Yeah, I agree.
And media site Complex chose Betsy Rusine, I think she plays Irene, I think she's the woman that Frank's having sex with, as number 13 of the 15 best topless moments in mainstream horror movies, and that was in 2020.
Wow.
I had to read that out because I'm more surprised that that's even a thing.
Yeah.
Like, not only are people watching these horror films,
But they're ranking those seats.
seems really specific and niche.
Yeah, I kind of forget about those.
Yeah, same. And Kerr Smith in this, that's a big jump, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
But
Carry on.
I like Kerr Smith in this, and is he a deputy in this?
Yeah.
And he's Axel.
Yeah.
He's from Dawson's Creek.
Right.
And Jensen Ackles apparently worked on Dawson's Creek.
Yeah.
They worked together.
Yeah.
But Jensen Ackles, apparently this is trivia, but I don't think it's the jacket that I'm thinking of when it says this. Jensen Ackles wears the same jacket in Supernatural. Now, I don't think it's the nice black longer jacket.
No.
I think it's more of the khaki jacket he's wearing later.
Yeah.
Which really doesn't surprise
I'd
me
say
at
so
all.
as well.
But you suspected the black longer jacket he's wearing from some of the promo shots in one of the Supernatural
Yeah,
promos.
season 2.
Sorry, listeners. We're, my brother especially, are quite big fans of the show Supernatural.
Yeah. I think
Especially the earlier seasons.
Yeah, I could be wrong. Who knows? But seems though we're off into weird links towards stuff like that.
Yeah?
I'll start with
I think I know where you're going.
cinematographer.
Oh, no, that's not where I was going.
Because I love this, because the cinematographer, Brian Pearson, I feel is a friend of Jensen Ackles, and I want to know if either of them helped the other get the job on this. Because I'm not being funny or anything, Brian Pearson worked on Dark Angel
Okay.
with Jensen Ackles, Smallville, I think in the same season with Jensen Ackles,
Okay.
the movie Devour with Jensen
Jensen
Ackles,
Ackles.
and then he also goes with the director on Drive Angry, because
Yeah.
why not?
Drive Angry is a great film, I think.
Yeah, and then he did other horror movie sequels, which are Insidious 3.
All right.
Oddly, the only Insidious movie he worked on. I say oddly because I don't know. I just feel like when you've got a franchise, I feel like you usually stay in them, but apparently not. As this guy also did Final Destination 5 and no other Final Destination.
No.
And Butterfly Effect 2, which
great
is
stuff.
a ugly looking film. Sorry, but it is in comparison to the first one and the third one even.
No.
Yeah, it's horrible looking. Look at it, Brian.
Get it out my face! I don't want to see this!
See, I told you it was bad.
Oh, you showed me the third one.
No, that's a great looking film. They worked on some TV shows like Human Target, Tomorrow People, and Lethal Weapon.
Okay.
Which I thought was funny because they're all kind of remakes as well.
Yeah. What I thought you were going to say is Megan Boone and Eddie Gathagi would later co-star in The Blacklist.
Oh, was he in The Blacklist as well?
Apparently.
Because she's like the lead in The Blacklist. I'm quite
Right.
surprised.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've never seen The Blacklist. I thought James Spader was the lead guy.
No,
he's always the guy in the posters.
Yeah, he's just...
And he's the only guy I've ever seen clips of.
Well, he's not really, but he's a lead.
Eddie Gathagi, anyway, he's also now... He was Darwin in X-Men First Class.
Yeah, we don't speak of that.
No, but he's now going to be Mr. Terrific in James Gunn's Superman later this year.
Yeah.
And speaking of returning to remakes, Jamie King appeared 3 years later in a remake of the 80s slasher Silent Night, Deadly Night called Silent Night.
Yeah, I can also go on some other thing that's due to the music as well by Michael Wanmaker. He works again with Patrick Lussier on Drive Angry and Trick. He does your favourite comic book movie, Punisher Warzone.
Oh.
He does one of your favourite films that I think we'll end up covering eventually, Never Back Down.
Oh, nice.
And then we're back with a supernatural link with Cry Wolf.
All right.
With Jared Padalecki.
Yeah, that is a good film.
Yeah.
Probably end up covering that on here as well.
Yeah, quite a few links to Drive Angry. I just felt like I was looking up the movie Drive Angry at times. Looking this up every time I got to someone, I was just like, Drive Angry.
I was quite surprised with the special effects on this one. I haven't got the guy's name.
Oh, I thought you would have.
I was supposed to write it down.
Right. Yeah, I'm quite amazed. Because we watched the special features, didn't we?
Yes.
And there was a lot of it I thought was going to be CGI, but the practical work was really, really good on this.
Yeah, the part with Tom Atkins, wasn't it? They had the removable jaw.
Yeah.
And then they were just going to touch it with CGI to get rid of the lines.
Yeah.
You could barely see the lines when the jaw was attached.
Yeah.
Unless you were really looking for them. Incredible stuff.
I was more disappointed by the fact they were on about the blood spurt.
Oh, because they'd made it so they can spray the blood.
Yeah, but when
manually.
you watch the film, it looks CGI. I don't know.
There'll be some real blood in there, I'm sure.
Probably.
But I think it's the 3D effect, what you said, because they're having to have some come to the camera where you wouldn't normally.
Yeah, so I don't know if that...
To be honest, I think one of the worst parts of this film is being a 3D film.
Yeah.
Because it's around that time where 3D was the in gimmick.
Yeah, I'm going to say there's a
Because
scene...
they remade Piranha a similar time to this with Piranha 3D.
Yeah. There's a scene near the end, I don't really want to say what it is, but it's obvious this is because it's in 3D. Like, you wouldn't have done that.
Is it a bit involving the shovel?
No.
Okay, because that's another one, but it's not as bad, I don't.
I'm on about something in the end confrontation, which I just don't want to say who or what. And it's just, if this weren't 3D, there's no way they'd have done that. It'd have just been a regular shot and it'd have looked fine. But the fact they really...
Yeah. Another thing I like about this, and I think they could have maybe rewritten it to make it a little better, how they hide the identity's killer and they try and do it.
Identity.
What did I say?
Identity's killer.
Oh my god. They hide the identity's killer. I'm sticking with it.
All right.
By like mixing it up and playing with it from what the original is.
Yeah.
I quite like that.
Yeah.
You've basically got two lead suspects in this, which I like.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good angle to go with.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that you can't help but like both characters, because Jensen Ackles and Kerr Smith bring quite a likability to their roles, and the director was on about that in the behind the scenes. But that is a touch to it that really helps, I think.
Yeah, I do like it, but at the same time, when it does get to the end, this time around anyway, I just don't think they should have.
Feels a bit more on the nose of who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little. But I think it's because you also know now,
Maybe.
which doesn't help.
Plus, when you watch more of these sort of films, it does become more obvious
predictable.
to you. So.
Yeah, there's patterns to follow, isn't there?
Yeah, I think they say something like, when you watch film, you've got to really make it like it is like the first time watching a film sometimes.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't have as much fun watching it this time as I've had it in the past.
No.
Especially when I watched it in the cinema.
Yeah.
But it's a good few years since I last rewatched this as well. And since I last rewatched this, I have watched a lot more in the slasher genre.
Yeah.
But to go back to the effects, they had an axe in this that was really good because it had like a bendable arm while the axe is rubber.
Yeah, yeah.
And the arm has a hinge on it so they can get the right degree so it looks better on film.
Yeah.
And I thought that's quite an interesting little detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the axe they used for the Tom Atkins scene that we were on about the removable jaw, which was just pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, really.
Then they had the puppet,
really
which was really good, of, I don't think I've got his name, Ben Foley, Kevin Tighe's character.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a really good puppet. And Another detail I liked in this is Jensen Ackles' character's surname, Hanniger,
Yeah.
because that's the mayor's name and the mine's name from the 80s one,
Yeah.
which I thought was a good little touch.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think now why the name Palmer is important in slashers, because that's Axel and Sarah's surname.
Yeah.
I know why. I'm conflating it.
Yeah.
Betsy Palmer was the actress of Pamela Voorhees in the original Friday the 13th. And I wondered if it was a reference to that, because I don't think Palmer was the surname for Axel in the original.
No, I don't really have surnames on the original. They're just all
exactly.
names.
That's why.
Yeah.
I haven't really got anything more to say about this.
No.
Other than the fact that I think Jensen Ackles has been just a likeable screen presence. Really helps this film.
Yeah, that's it. It's not a bad remake, I don't think, for its time either.
It looks cheaper than I think it should for its time.
Yeah.
For the budget it had.
Yeah, but Lionsgate won it.
Yes. And they've had some pretty dud films last year.
Yeah.
I liked some of them.
They make some pretty good stuff, but at the same time, they really think about what they're throwing their money at as well.
Well, I mean, compare it to some of them films that were advertised on the disc before this.
Oh, God, yeah.
The Boston Strangler one, that looked pretty horrible.
Yeah.
That one, I think the other one was also based on a true story about a teenage serial killer.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to what is very evidently a 30-year-old man.
If we're wrong, then he was a very, very old-looking teen.
He had a big paper round. It wasn't just his village he was delivering the papers to, it was his county.
I don't think this is bad by any means. I think it's a fun watch.
Yeah, especially for your first watch.
Yeah.
And I would definitely say this is a slasher to watch when you get in early into the slashers.
Yeah.
You know, before you watch some of the classics that still hold up now, like the original Halloween and so on.
Yeah.
Definitely watch it early rather than later.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to really know what they're supposed to be doing in this film, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. Watching the effect stuff, I kind of think the 3D kind of ruined it.
Definitely.
And then watching certain scenes in the film, like I said, that one near the end.
And I think another part of it is down to the being 3D, but I was going to say maybe where they've chose to put the camera.
There is an amazing bit near the end, though, I really like.
Where he's smashing the lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. But yeah, that's probably one of my favourite parts of this film.
I mean, we don't have to say who it is, do we?
No.
But we can say what happens, because obviously the killer's unmasked and he's smashing the lights, and then you see every time the light
smashed.
Yeah, you get a quick flicker of him in the miner costume.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, I weren't sure if it was just my brain putting it in at first. I had to ask you if I was seeing it right, because it's very blink and you miss. It's literally seconds, like milliseconds.
Yeah, I was going to say
frames.
My only problem with it was I think it did go on a bit too long, because for them first few it's great, and then it kind of lingers on it on that last one, I think, and that's when you were like, oh, I was seeing.
Yeah.
And you're like, but it is a really cool effect. I did like it.
Definitely. And how he carries the axe at that point as well, I think just adds.
Great bit.
In fact, it's maybe the most creative shot in the film.
Yeah, probably.
So it's probably best they saved it for near the end.
Yeah. But no, I don't think it's bad by any means. Like I said, on a first watch, I remember really enjoying this one as well.
Yeah. But it looked great in the cinema, because I actually went to see this in 3D, I think.
Yeah.
In fact, I probably did. The gimmick was still quite fresh.
Yeah.
But it's like, do you see it in 3D? Because chances are you're not watching it in 3D at home.
Yeah.
I mean, my DVD copy has the 3D glasses in there to watch it on the 3D side.
Maybe we should have watched it in 3D.
If we watch it in 3D, we'll just do a little report in, I guess, and come back to you of what we thought then. It's the fact that it's the 3D with the paper glasses, and I don't think it's quite the same.
No.
Where it's red and blue, or is it red and green?
Red and green normally, isn't it?
You can get them with the red-blue lenses, I think it is, or it might be orange and blue lenses, actually, when it's a blue lens.
I think I watched a Godzilla movie through them once.
Oh, that horrible...
Yeah, the one
King of the Monsters?
Yeah.
Everything was just teal and blue.
Teal and orange.
Teal and orange, yeah.
Everything. Just teal and orange.
That's all I remember from the film.
It is me.
It's like, I get it, you like teal and orange, but there's more you could be doing with this film.
Yeah. I can't believe I just wanted to make a slight joke about a movie and we've ended up talking about that.
Well, that's what I guess we're infamous for tangents.
Maybe we should call ourselves like the Tangent Podcast or something.
The Tangerine.
No, man.
And we can use teal and orange as our colours.
Yeah, why not?
Because of tangerine and tangents.
Why not?
No.
No. Do you want me to sign us out?
I don't think I've got anything more on this.
No.
I would have liked him to have played the song in there somewhere.
From the original?
Yeah.
Just on the radio?
Somewhere, yeah.
For the legend they say on a Valentine's Day is a curse that'll live on and on.
Also, Jamie King isn't in enough. She's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because that's actually a good scene with her in the shop that she works in. Are American stores, aisles, really that wide? Because it's a small town and they've got aisles wider than what we've got in our supermarkets in our nearest town.
Yeah, no, it's weird. Isn't it?
That you could drive a car up them.
Yeah.
We can barely get 3 trolleys down an aisle.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I'll sign it out then.
One last thing.
All right.
And it's actually relevant to the beginning of this film.
Right.
It doesn't open in a particular way that allows you to get the concept of how time is working because it's non-linear. Well, it's kind of in linear form in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because you get the little party scene that opens like the original of the first, but then it's to do with the original mine incident. But it doesn't open in a way where you feel like it is because it still feels somehow present day. They did nothing to set this as being 1999. And then you get 10 years later.
Yeah. Also, I think they do them scenes in a really weird order at the beginning. I remember saying to you when we watched it, this is edited really strangely.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't feel I knew what was happening.
Yeah.
Because I think you get like opening credits, still leaves it in 99.
And comes back to 99.
And it's like, you should have done this scene, then that scene.
Yeah.
And I feel like them
There's a really
opening
good
scenes
scene,
are
though,
out of order.
where they go on about the original guy waking up.
Yeah.
And there's all that destruction through the hospital.
Yeah.
That could have been a movie on its own.
Yeah.
That could have been a climax to the movie.
Yeah.
I wonder if they wondered about doing a prequel, because they leave this open.
Yeah.
Well, the original does as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nearly 20 years, so maybe this director is like, hey, I want to do a sequel.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. So we'll see.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be a weird movie which is just infamous for like a remake. Like every so often they think they're going to get another one.
Like they'll position a remake in about 5 years, so it'd be...
Yeah.
No, because it'd have to be coming out 2009, so maybe about 3 years from now somebody's like, could we remake My Bloody Valentine? And someone's like, nah. And then like a few years down the line, it's like, oh no, sorry, we don't want to do a sequel in like about 3 years' time for My Bloody Valentine. And they're like, no.
Yeah.
And then like a couple of years after that, it's like, I'm going to remake My Bloody Valentine. And the studio's like, bingo idea.
Yeah.
Get on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also nice that they don't do a sequel, because one of the best things horror can do is leave it open.
Yeah.
Because that adds to that element of horror. Once you close it off, where's the horror gone?
Yeah.
It's ended. There's nothing to be afraid of, right?
Yeah.
I love a good open ending, or them ambiguous endings where you get to read how you want it to be. I'm a big fan of them.
Mainly in the horror genre or psychological thrillers.
Yeah.
You want me to sign us out?
Yeah. You don't have a favourite scene at all out of these two films, though?
To be fair, it's probably the one with the lights that we just mentioned on this one.
Now you've brought it up, I'm choosing that as well over the hot dogs.
I think you were just hungry for hot dogs.
Look, we're recording at dinner time, okay? My belly is about to be rumbling. Can you blame me for thinking about hot dogs?
It's the man drowning them that I don't get. You're hungry for hot dogs, but you want the guy there drowning them.
Well, it's boiling his face. Probably Optimus Prime cooking them.
You're referring to the give me your face line there.
I am, yeah.
Alright, just that to make sure.
Yeah, it was a tenuous link, maybe, I don't know.
Sometimes I know what you're on about, other times I haven't a clue. We could be making some really weird references, so I'm going to sign us out.
Okay.
So that's the end of the show. Thank you for joining us this week, and if you haven't already, click like and subscribe. A glowing review would also be appreciated. We are Cynic_critique on X and Instagram, and Cynic-critique on Blue Sky. Links to those and more can be found in the show's description. And remember to join us next week as we're continuing our remake season, this again with The Blob.
Or The Blob.
Well, and The Blob, I guess. Just a lot of blob. Beware the blob.
Beware the Blob. The Blob had a song. Sorry, goodbye.
Thank you and goodbye.
Oh yeah, thank you and goodbye.
How can it be stopped? Mob hysteria sweeps one city. Before long, the nation, and then the world could fall before the blood-curdling threat of the Blob.